Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jill Nicolini, your host for Convention TV. The second day of InfoComm 2019 is underway, and we'll be bringing you all the top stories from this year's show, plus in-depth discussions of the major topics facing the commercial AV industry today. I'm joined once again by Hester Van Hooven, who will be reporting in from the show floor. Speaking of the show floor, let's get right down there because of the editors of Sound and Communications just passed along word that Magewell has something really cool that we have to check out. I'm talking about the debut of the Pro Convert AIO RX decoder hardware for NDI. It converts live IP-based NDI streams into high-quality SDI or HDMI outputs for connection to baseband devices such as monitors, projectors, or legacy equipment. Pretty cool stuff, right, Hester?
Yes, I am here with Mike Nan from Magewell. This debut of the new hardware sounds very cool. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, obviously AV over IP is one of the hottest topics here at InfoComm, and Nutec's NDI technology is one of the IP technologies driving the whole transition forward. We already offered at Magewell the series of Pro Convert hardware encoders, which convert traditional video signals into NDI streams, and the new Pro Convert AIO RX completes the chain, decoding them into high-quality HDMI or SDI signals for connection to baseband devices for a variety of applications. This simplifies the use of NDI in things like digital signage, video walls, image magnification in churches and entertainment venues, or you can simply pair it with an encoder to transport video, audio, and even power over long distances over a single network cable. We designed the device to be truly plug and play, but it also has a web-based interface for access to advanced features such as FPGA-based scaling. And there are two buttons on the device that allow users to switch between NDI streams and also choose an output preset to match the target resolution and frame rate of the device.
Great information, Hester. Thanks so much. Let's go right to our next segment. Corporate communications represents one of the ripest opportunities for AV integrators, but make no mistake, that opportunity is continuing to evolve. Convention TV caught up with several prominent AV professionals to get their perspective on which technologies will have an outsized influence on corporate interactions.
The commercial AV industry is composed of many important vertical markets, but arguably the most important is commercial spaces. So that's why we decided to talk to a couple of industry experts about the current state of corporate AV.
What is the nature of modern corporate communications, and have you identified any overarching trends?
That's a great question. The way corporate communications used to be in most Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies it was technology reserved for the highest level of executives. And now what we have is technology and supports and services that are for the masses, democratization of communication. Everyday workers, team members, job planners all want to come in and just get on with their meeting and just do things. So we now have to make technology that's accessible, usable, pushed down into every corridor and every room, and able to be used without needing to get an IT person or a technology person in the space.
We are seeing a trend where organizations are moving away from hardware solutions and driving to software-based solutions. Right? The challenge with that is that they have to run on purpose-built PCs or PCs that aren't running a lot of extra software on there. So what we have to do now is not only manage that software-based application that sits on the PC, but the actual PC itself.
Yeah, I think AV integrators that want to succeed within the corporate space and in corporate communications specifically, I think it's really important for them to take the time to understand what user experience is required in that space, and taking the time to understand the full landscape of their corporate customers. So, what age group are they working with? Are they remote workers, or is it a blend? Do they have an open workspace? Are they doing hot desking? Or there's different environments that we're seeing as trends within the corporate space, and they need to be flexible and able to address that. In addition, I think services is really, really key, and that's where they can make a lot of money, right? And the monitoring, also things like professional development, training, and support, and those types of things. It's really, really key within the corporate space.
We don't want to get too deep into InfoComm 2019 without checking in on Dave Labuscus, CEO of AVIXA, the association that organized this event. Industry analysts have long observed that InfoComm is a microcosm of the broader commercial AV industry. So let's ask Dave how this year's show reflects the current state of AV.
Dave, here we are at another InfoComm, and the first day has been a tremendous success. I'm sure you and your colleagues at AVIXA are feeling really great today. So in your view, how does InfoComm 2019 illustrate the larger trends at play for the commercial AV market?
Perfectly. I mean, when you think about that question, how does this show represent the trends in the AV marketplace? Everything about this show is a microcosm of that marketplace. The innovation that the manufacturers and exhibitors are bringing to the show, the excitement that the attendees are bringing, the channel as well as the end users. People are here looking at the latest trends in all of that and how all of that is advancing. You will see the latest technologies and displays. You see migrations to software. You see advancements in hardware. You see applications for the technology. Everywhere you turn, what you see here is what you could use in your business, either in providing a solution for your customer, or if you are that customer, how to solve your business problems.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Convention TV right after this short break.
For any job, you need the right tool. With StarDraw's latest software, you can save even more time and money creating system schematics, layout drawings, and all your project documentation. See the new features in StarDraw Design 7.3, the fast, easy way to draw and do more, at booth 2560.
We're back with more coverage of InfoComm 2019. As always, the show floor is packed with crowds of attendees. Our crew is right there with them, searching for the most innovative new products and solutions. But we also wanted to highlight some of the overall trends dominating the commercial AV market. And one of the biggest trends affecting the corporate world has been the rise of app-based collaboration. Yesterday, we featured a new segment here on Convention TV at InfoComm. We hosted David Danto, the new editor of IT AV Report and the director of emerging technologies with the IMCCA. Last time, he discussed AI and machine learning. Today, he's joined by associate publisher John Carr to discuss Team Chat. Let's hear what he has to say.
Thanks, Jill. Team Chat has gotten a lot of attention lately. Whether it's Slack, Microsoft Teams, or Hangout Chat, these platforms are being utilized more and more. What's the value proposition they offer?
Yeah, these persistent team chat platforms are terrific for coordinating efforts with a much more natural flow of communications. All conversations, information, documents, everything related to a topic are available in the room or space or whatever the platform calls it whenever it's needed. Users can go in whenever they want. They can catch themselves up with what happened before. They can comment on what others are saying or have said before. And in most cases, they can edit documents or other work product, as a group. Everybody has the ability to edit at the same time. A team's productivity can grow enormously when they use one of these platforms to complete a task or work on a product. As a side benefit, they can cut down on emails, meetings, and other processes like that, that would take more time. I've been using many of these platforms since they first hit the market, and I can attest to how incredibly useful and revolutionary they are.
The real question is whether Team Chat can scale to very large enterprises, such as Fortune 500 companies. Do you have an opinion on that?
Well, unfortunately, like everything else in the history of our industry, we've taken a good thing and blown it way out of proportion, like we've ever done that before. These team chat platforms work really well, but they do that when you have a small team that's highly motivated to use them. But all you need is one participant that doesn't regularly visit the channel or the room for essentially the whole thing to break down. Now the project owner needs to do all the work in the room and email the non-participants, actually increasing the workload and not increasing the productivity. I mean, the best way to think about this is rolling out these platforms enterprise-wide at large organizations is like giving every employee a skateboard. Some of them will love the ease of getting around on it. Some of them will try it and do it badly and look ridiculous. And some of them will laugh at it and never use it at all. And I'll add the comment that when these platforms, which are great as tools for the teamwork, are made out to be the platform for all of enterprise communications, you've kind of lost sight what you're trying to do. I mean, if I use one of these chat sites to host or join a video call, I can no longer access the chat site and keep up what's going on in my rooms because all I can see is the video. Ultimately, I believe the pendulum on all this stuff will swing back to a point where this is a tool like any other in the toolbox, and it'll only be used where it'll do the most good.
Thanks, David. We'll continue to discuss this topic in the pages of Sound Communications. Where can people find you at InfoComm?
Well, you can always find me walking the exhibit floor all over, checking out all the new booths and the emerging technology. Or if you want, you can come visit with me in the Poly booth, number 3461.
Great. Now let's go back to Jill in the studio.
Gee, AMD North America is showcasing their new remote access CPU here at InfoComm. It addresses the increasing virtualization in the AV workflow, and it provides answers to hot topics such as professional access to virtualization solutions. The product enables the seamless integration of virtual machines into KVM installations. The new modules can be used to create hybrid systems with real and virtual infrastructures. G&D's remote access CPU will be available by the fourth quarter. LS10 is L-Acoustic's new plug-and-play Avenue certified AVB switch. It integrates seamlessly with the L-Acoustics ecosystem to further simplify connectivity, binding together audio and control distribution. It runs AVB out of the box to provide users with a simple, reliable network solution. It's perfect for both touring events and installation applications. Its 5-second power-up provides a short recovery time in case of power loss, and for even greater reliability, and auxiliary DC input takes over in case of a mains failure. I want to catch up with my girl Hester, who I'm told has found some pretty wow-worthy innovations over at the Ross Video booth. Ross is known for technology solutions that power live video productions all around the world and address the creative, business, and technical challenges faced by content creators. So, Hester, what's the headline news at Ross Video for InfoComm 2019?
I'm here with Jared Schatz at Ross Video. So tell me about Expression Tessera and some of the other products you're showcasing here at InfoComm 2019.
Hi, Hester. Yeah, right here we're showing Expression Tessera, which originated in sports venue production for stadium LED displays. It gave us the ability to stitch together multiple playback engines across an infinite amount of pixels. There's no other system in the world that's frame accurate that can play back across an unlimited amount of resolution space. We've actually been going into different market spaces with the technology. Also new on the booth, we acquired a company called Protelis, and there's a product called ProXI, which is a very innovative workstation integrator that really supercharges a KVM matrix, allowing an operator to control multiple computers at once and quickly get in and out of their workstations. We're also showing more live production solutions. We have an end-to-end legislative control system for legislative television production, controlling hand tilt zoom cameras, switchers, graphics, playback devices into a cohesive control system. So that we're excited to show that off this week as well.
All right, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. You're watching Convention TV at InfoComm. The show is produced and written by the team behind the commercial AV industry's leading publication, Sound and Communications. Sound and Communications is your source for the latest industry news, the newest products and solutions, and in-depth case studies on cutting-edge AV installations. And they also publish IT AV Report, a biannual supplement that focuses exclusively on networked AV. And if you aren't already subscribed to Sound Communications, you can sign up for a free subscription either on our website or by stopping by booth L11 in the Convention Center lobby. You can also sign up for the weekly Wire and our monthly newsletter. We'll keep you up to date on everything commercial AV. Our industry is embracing standards more and more each day, and there's no question that the current zeitgeist is toward device interoperability. That might be one of the reasons that Milan, a standards-based, user-driven, deterministic network protocol, has been getting so much attention lately. We gathered some of the creators responsible for Milan and asked them for an update on the latest.
Milan's been the talk of the commercial AV industry for months, and that trend's definitely been holding true here at InfoComm 2019. The creators of Milan, the Avenue Alliance, are out here in full force. So naturally, Convention TV is on the scene to get an update on this network protocol.
So here at InfoComm 2019, the Avenue Alliance is announcing the completion of the certification program. So the first products are now being compliance certified, and Meyer Sound is announcing that our Galaxy platform is now the first Milan certified product from Meyer Sound.
Well, I think interoperability is key for these kind of systems, because that's what it needs to do. Actually, different devices from different brands need to be able to talk to each other and use the same protocol. And that's also what we with Luminex are facilitating with our network switches in the Milan group, and as an Avenue certified AVB switch, make it just plug and play and make it work all the way. So that's why interoperability is really a key part of an audio protocol. It really has to work. It's like putting two things together and it just talks to each other. So.
Well, Milan bases on AVB. AVB is a set of IEEE open standards at a similar level as Ethernet itself. And this type of standards cannot just be taken away by somebody. It's not under control of certain proprietary companies. It's something that belongs to the entire audio world. So we can actually use these standards from now on for many, many years without being afraid that something or somebody could interfere with this.
Yesterday, we hosted Jim Maltese, VP of Quality Standards with Level 3 Audiovisual, who commented on the complexities of dealing with global enterprise clients. You can read Jim's musings each month in the Commish column in Sound and Communications, but today he's joined by Sound and Communications editor Dan Farisi to discuss the modern streamlined conference room. Take it away, guys.
There are many things that people in the AV industry can debate about, but I think virtually everyone would concede that the conference room of 10 or 15 years ago is quite different from the conference rooms being designed today. Describe the trend towards streamlining.
Dan, systems used to be made up of many different types of boxes for all the various functions required. Then the boxes started to become consolidated into multifunction devices. Now, everything seems to be moving towards software. From codecs to recorders to switchers to controllers to mixers. The number of devices going into conference rooms have been reduced tremendously. In fact, most conference rooms have an owner-furnished computer or a BYOD laptop at their core. Users are familiar with the interface, it's less expensive, and it's actually pretty effective. The exciting thing is that they are being installed everywhere. Video conferencing used to be reserved for the high-end boardrooms, but now, if a room has a computer source, it has access to integrated audio and video conferencing through the software codecs. The trick is to focus on the user experience at every level of room, and to make sure users look and sound great in a huddle room, as well as in an executive conference room.
Obviously, for AV integrators, the question is where they can sell their expertise and grow their business. With conference rooms becoming streamlined, where is the sustainable revenue for integrators and consultants?
I see three big categories for growth. The first is efficiency. Technology managers have literally hundreds of conference rooms rolling out at a clip. If integrators can find ways to speed up the process while maintaining the performance specifications, that would be very valuable. It might not be great for profit per system, but it can be made up for in volume. The second is management. Any integrator only focusing on implementation is missing a tremendous opportunity. IT departments are owning more and more AV systems, and they speak the language of service-level agreements. AV SLAs drawn up similarly to IT SLAs are very marketable. Third, integrators should be looking at space programming, not in a control system sense, but instead in a room usage sense. Most conference systems and/or software collect room usage data. Integrators can crunch this data on behalf of their clients and offer guidance on how they can optimize their conference room planning. How many conference rooms are required for each floor? How big should they be? Are the existing rooms being used effectively? This data interpretation offering is one of the most exciting areas of growth in my opinion.
Thanks, Jim. I'm sure this dialogue will continue here at InfoComm and in the pages of Sound and Communications. Back to Jill in the studio.
All right, there's plenty more to come from Convention TV. Stay tuned and we'll see you right after the break.
Dante meets SDVOE at booth 1161. Transports Dante audio and 4K 60 frame latency video over a single Cat6 or fiber cable. We have a number of Dante and SDVOE solutions on display. While you're there, don't forget to ask about our turnkey projection mapping solution. Arista, booth 1161.
Welcome back to the show. When it comes to pixel counts, it probably is fair to say too much is never enough. Already 4K displays have become nearly ubiquitous, and our industry's manufacturers have begun to create the 8K displays of the future. But how should we interpret 8K? Is it a pipe dream at a time when more and more AV signals are traveling over network infrastructure? Or is 8K truly the wave of the future? Let's ask some of the most knowledgeable folks here in Orlando what they think.
That's right. We've been hearing a lot about 8K, and we have been for a while now. So we decided to talk to a few preeminent video experts about whether the hype is real.
Well, for fixed commercial applications, 8K is not really ready for prime time. So there is a lot of buzz around 8K coming from Japan and the Olympic Games, shooting in 8K. But if you look to the solutions for 4K now, even this is not as widely spread as HD. But when the technology, when 8K is coming, Barco will be ready for it. So we're already scouting now possibilities for 8K, and when it comes, we will be ready.
Having pixels without processing power doesn't mean a great image. So the ability for the eye to be able to see that resolution is not just dependent on the number of pixels that are present, it is also dependent on the processor to control those pixels to make it as close to the analog experience as possible. That's what's still yet to mature in this marketplace.
For commercial applications of this, if you look at planetariums, planetariums have been doing 8K domes for many years now. It used to take 16 or more projectors to do this. Now we can do an 8K dome with 2 projectors, cross-fired across a dome. Other applications is command and control. You need a lot of pixels there in command and control. We have big, bright projectors that can do this very efficiently now, as long as you have some sort of box on the front end that can do your windowing and things like that. So it becomes a very efficient way to do command and control. If you look at design, there you need a lot of fine pixels, and we have that with 33 million pixels of them on the screen. And there's many, many other applications. Look at theme parks and so forth.
Shure's MX-A910 with IntelliMix represents the next evolution in the MicroFlex advanced ceiling array microphone platform. It offers a variety of mounting options as well as efficient setup and configuration. Its steerable coverage technology is completely adjustable and can be easily selected using presets. The onboard IntelliMix provides tools such as acoustic echo cancellation, noise reduction, and automatic mixing. By integrating Shure steerable coverage technology alongside IntelliMix DSP, the MX-A910 becomes a more powerful audio solution. Lumens is showcasing 2 brand new box cameras. The VC-BC701P is a 4K 60 FPS model that comes with 30x optical zoom. It captures high-quality color images in dimly lit environments and can be used in multiple applications. Other key features include HDMI and Ethernet video outputs, a low illumination level, and 3D noise reduction. Meanwhile, the VC-BC601P is a 1080p, 60 FPS, and 30x optical zoom model with multiple interfaces, including HDMI, 3G, SDI, and Ethernet for image outputs. Riedel's Artist 1024 node is the next step in the development of the Artist Intercom ecosystem. The node complements the Artist family, expanding its capabilities with a focus on IP-based installations. It boasts 1,024 non-blocking ports in 2RU and introduces a range of technical innovations centered on software-definable universal interface cards. These interface cards combine networking, mixing, and management, and they can be configured to act as a SMPTE 2110, 3031, AES67 or MADI subscriber card, or as an Artist Fiber router processor card as well. Think video games are child's play? Well, think again. Competitive gaming has outgrown both the living room and the arcade, with professional esports competitions now being staged in world-class arenas and purpose-built venues around the globe. That's why esports has become a hot topic of discussion in the AV world. And marquee venues like the HyperX Esports Arena, Las Vegas, prove that there is money to be made in outfitting buildings dedicated to this growing pastime. For a look at the trends impacting esports AV, we spoke to a few industry members knowledgeable about this exciting growth area.
That's right, Jill. And not only is this an exciting growth area, but it's becoming a cultural phenomenon. And that's great news for our industry, because there'll be millions of dollars pouring into these venues that house esports competitions, and those venues are going to need extensive AV integration. So we decided to talk to a few industry experts about this emerging market.
Between large venues like Fusion Arena just announced in Philadelphia, the local smaller arenas, and the growth in collegiate space, we're definitely seeing the market grow. I think over the next 2 to 5 years, we'll see tremendous growth in esports venues. Beyond that time period, it's going to be dependent on the development of a profitable business plan for the growth to continue.
I think if they want to be a serious player in that particular vertical, you have to have the production skills, because there's a lot of production going on around these. You need to have good IT skills, because it is esports, so it is a lot of routers and switches and a lot of IT centric technologies. And you also need to be good with data, because a lot of the times when you're doing the esports productions, there's actually real-time data that goes along with all the player data. So it's important that you have all those skill sets.
There's lots of questions about whether esports is different or the same as conventional sports facilities. And part of the difficulty with that is defining what is esports. Is it a bring your own computer? Is it tournament play? Is it stadium, arena play? So we've got to define the picture first. With that said, most sports facilities can accommodate esports with some adjustment. They've got a lot of camera capability, they have to have a lot of staging capability, and most importantly, the backstage requirements are something in the order of 4 or 5 times the size you would have for a concert venue, for example, or for normal sporting capacity. And that's the biggest challenge right there.
There's even more Convention TV to come, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sound and Communications. Since 1955, keeping readers up to speed on the latest AV technologies and how they are applied in commercial applications. Technologies from enterprise, augmented reality, AVL integration, BYOD, and digital signage are changing the world in unimaginable ways. Subscribe to Sound and Communications and our weekly wire or monthly newsletters free at soundandcommunications.com/subscribe or visit us at booth L11 in the main lobby area.
Okay, we are back and ready to bring you even more news from the Orange County Convention Center. In the United States, there's simply no bigger commercial AV show than InfoComm, and that's why tens of thousands of people have descended on Orlando, Florida this week to be here. But Convention TV wanted to shine a spotlight on a few companies that are making their InfoComm debut. Let's find out who they are and why they decided to exhibit here at InfoComm. Take it away.
Jill, this is my 15th consecutive InfoComm. Now, all of us always look forward to seeing the companies return year after year with their most exciting innovations. But one thing I especially look forward to is seeing the new companies here at the show who have never been here before. We caught up with a couple this year. Let's see what they had to say.
LEA Professional is a new startup company that specializes in amplifiers with DSP, but what makes us unique is we're the first amplifier with IoT technology built in, so you can talk to our amplifiers, control and monitor through the cloud.
Well, InfoComm is new for us because we are been based in broadcast for a long time, but we see that more and more customers in the Pro AV business is coming to us, especially since they have more high bandwidth needs and many signals that need to be distributed over longer distances. So for us, InfoComm is the right way to go.
And that's our show for day 2 of InfoComm 2019. It's been a hectic couple of days, but there's no better place to take the pulse of the AV industry than InfoComm. How has the show been treating you and the crew, Hester? Fill us in.
It's been a little crazy here down on the show floor because there has been so much to see. Avixa has pulled off yet another incredible InfoComm. So let's put our hats off to Avixa because organizing a trade show this big cannot be easy. And it's been so great to see everyone just so excited to showcase their products and solutions. And the atmosphere on the show floor has really been incredible. It is an absolute pleasure to cover an industry with such passionate people.
You've got that right, Hester. That's why I look forward to covering InfoComm every year. But we aren't done with our InfoComm 2019 coverage just yet. Make sure you join us tomorrow for highlights from the first 2 days of the show. And Hester will be checking in with any breaking news from day 3. So we'll see you in the morning, folks. Until then, I'm Jill Nicolini for Convention TV and Sound and Communications. We thank you all for watching.